Hi, I'm Kim,
And I'm Torra.
and this is our podcast, Kicking It with Kimm and Torra. Thank you so much for joining us today. As always, we've got four topics, 15 minutes each, and we're going to dive right in. Our first topic tonight is that at midnight tonight, which is September 29th, that's the shutdown deadline for the United States of America's government.
hmm And you know what that means? It means that daycare, childcare, Social Security, all the payments that go towards funding and helping everything run can completely stop. And we don't know for how long. I mean, there's a lot
That's
of things that
food
have to be
stamps,
done.
that's
Yeah. Oh,
everything,
yeah.
right?
All of those. So there's a lot of things that have to be put into place. Like, of course, it has to go to Congress and it has to go to the House and it has to go to the president. It has to go through all of these steps before it becomes written that they can extend this payment gap, which, or I don't know how, but basically they're saying that the United States has run out of money.
A
How is the
long time
United
ago, the United States ran out of money. So every time what they're doing is increasing the debt ceiling.
Mhm.
And Mitch McConnell said he wasn't going to do it unless unless something. I don't remember
Was
what the
this during the
condition was.
Obama era? He wasn't going to do it.
No, now,
Oh,
unless
oh.
something happened. Because remember Clinton shut the
Oh, probably unless there's no if, ands, and buts in there. I forgot what the if, and, buts were. It was more so stipulations on stuff that he just didn't want in the bill. And if it's in there, then it's a no-go. I do remember that. I'm
allowed
sorry.
to not sign off on it. So your concern is that it's going to leave families at the margin in crisis.
No, black. I'm saying black and brown families. And when I say brown families, I'm talking about the poor, whether they're white poor or black poor, they're in the brown family. And my thing is this: we already struggling. Like black people are struggling right now. We just wear it well. You know that. We never knew. Black people will tell you in a heartbeat. They don't even know they're poor until somebody tells them or they see something else. Because when you're in it, you don't really harbor on it like most people do. Like you very
I think
seldom
they
hear.
used to not know, but now with social media, your butt's poor. You don't have anything that other people have.
But but the feeling doesn't. You still want other things, you want better, but the feeling isn't so detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Like I hear other people in other nationalities talk about being broke and being poor, and it's detrimental to them. We still like we got faith.
Black people gonna be happy and get their life on regardless.
You know what
Check
I mean?
came today, we're gonna spend it. Next week we'll figure out what we're gonna do.
Exactly. So my thing is this: we are struggling. So what little bit we have, when there's nothing, what are we going to do? When there's absolutely nothing, and it's like there is no blanket coming for us. There is no safety blanket coming for the Black community, and I worry about elderly people. I worry about mothers who you live in the United States. You deserve to have children if you want some. You deserve to be able to have somebody help you if you can't help yourself. I mean, who else is going to populate the United States? People got to say, oh, why are you having kids and you knew you couldn't afford them? That's not how we start off this world. That's not how we start off this world, believing that you shouldn't have kids if you can't afford them. You start off this world because you for the potential of it. That very child that you saying that why have could be the one that changed the world. So I don't believe in all that. I don't believe in all that. So I do believe that if we have a government, if there are women out there that single mothers or single dads or people struggling to family, I mean, it could be a 2-parent household struggling to take care of kids. I truly believe that the government should not do this to us no further than it's already been done. I mean, the pandemic crippled everybody. Then you're going to have a government shutdown?
And I don't know what happened the last time. I was trying to think of that while you were talking, like what happened when it got shut down previously and what were the consequences? Because in this area, there are a lot of government workers.
Well, a lot of government workers had to work for free.
Yes, and I remember they had to go to work and they had to rest assured that they would be getting their money when the government restarted. And that's fine for people who don't live paycheck to paycheck.
And it's also fine who, like you said, for people who got another job lined up, but there were people who had to leave their job because they were like, look, we're not getting paid. We don't have the money. We've been here 30 days and you want me to come to work every day banking on the fact that I'm gonna, shoulda, woulda get some money one day. Like, I gotta do something,
Yeah, I
The
remember
lights,
that
the
clearly.
light company don't get shut off.
And the light company don't give a daggone that the
Not at all.
government shut down. And then for the people who are on food stamps and well, what we call welfare, I guess is aid for dependent children, whatever it is. The people who are
Mhm.
getting all those kinds of payments, what happens to them? I
And
mean,
that's
I
sad.
imagine if you live in the projects, they're not going to kick you out, but there are a
No.
lot of people that don't live in the projects that get that kind of assistance.
Yes.
What do they
Yes.
do? It's
Yes.
something sensitive. Congress and Congress, both the House and Senate, are out of touch with reality.
Do you realize how much money those people make? Have you ever seen the chart of how much Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi and all of them are
It
worth?
used to
They're in
be
the
around
hundreds of millions.
174. I don't know. But see, the real thing about Congress, for real, we need to have some term limits because
Oh yeah.
the real horror about them is that they
Yep.
go in, most of them go into office as regular middle class people and they
Yep.
come out wealthy. And
Very
that
well.
shouldn't happen. You don't come out being worth millions of dollars on a salary that's less than
Yep.
$200,000. That's not the way the world works. So you're peddling influence and insider
Unpaid for.
information and what Lord knows what else, and going on speaking things and all this kind of stuff to make money, and they come out wealthy. Almost all of them are wealthy, and that's a problem. And that also
They're
makes
bought and
them
paid for.
very much out of touch with what everyday Americans are dealing with.
I truly believe that, and that would help if there was a term limit. And I don't know if you've been hearing lately, but people are still pushing for Donald Trump to get back in office.
Well, Joe
And
Biden's turning out to be a straight demon. What is wrong with him?
well, that's why everybody's like,
He is a straight demon. If you get more than $600 in your Cash
Yep.
App or whatever, we're going to start monitoring. What the hell? We're going to monitor those accounts, and we're sending you a 1099, and it's doing
and
too much.
see, what people don't realize is he's saying, okay, if I happen to send you $600 just because you need it, that's okay. But if I'm sending you $600 every week because you're filing paperwork for me, or you're doing hair for me, or you're doing cleaning my house, he's coming after that. And then the question is, how do you know though? Like,
Yeah,
how
that's what
will
I'm
you
gonna say. You
know?
never know why you're sending me $600. Not only that, the government's too damn greedy, because
Yep.
when I file an income tax and then I calculate what my taxes are, because I'm self-employed, they want me to add 50% more on top of that. Now I'm getting taxed on everything I purchase. I'm paying property taxes. I'm just tax out the wazoo. And then when it's time to file, because I have enough whatever not to be slaving for somebody else, you want me to pay even more. They're greedy. If they stop it, people wouldn't be hiding income. If they just
Yeah.
said everybody pay 10%. And I don't feel
Yep.
bad for saying it, because most of the millionaires and billionaires don't pay. They always, and
Yeah,
we saw that with Donald Trump's tax returns. They always have some credit for some loss,
yeah.
and
Well,
they're
see,
never paying. So cut the bull. They're just riding on the backs of everyday people.
and that's what Mark Cuban was trying to explain on the Breakfast Club to DJ Envy, that it's not that the billionaires and trillionaires don't pay, it's just that they shovel out so much money to corporate America, like building businesses, so you get to write that off. They have so many
Well,
donations
that's
and
not paying.
stuff, so they get to I'm sorry.
That's the same as not paying. Putting money in a corporation is not the same as putting money in the public coffers. It's not
Well,
the
the
same.
corporation is used as saying, okay, so you've
No.
got 2,000 people over there that need jobs. So Jeff Bezos will go build a business over there. Yes, he does get money from that business, but he also is giving money to that business because 2,000 people over there are going to be working, paying taxes, and helping the
And
economy.
he should pay his taxes too on the money that he earns from that business. It is a ripoff because they're wealthy.
But
They
see,
have
then he
way
says
more than the rest of us.
he can't grow the rest of the world if he does that.
Well,
He
don't
can't
grow the
build.
rest of the world. Pay your fair share and we'll grow the rest of the world with the fair money that everybody contributed to. I just don't think they should be getting a pass. You have millions. Some of them have billions and they're not paying. And then the rest of us are paying 30, 40% of our income. I don't want that. Everybody needs to pay 10, 15%, whether you're worth 7 billion or a dollar. You pay your
Well, it's
10,
supposed to be
15%.
43% on 400,000 now. So unless the $400,000 people find out how to swingle their taxes, 400, when you start making that 400,000 and above, you're going to start getting a 43% tax.
Bull. It's some
hit on you.
bull. The
Yeah.
whole system is set up to keep you down and to
Well,
keep them
the
up.
have and the have-nots. They've already said that.
Keep
They've
you
already
from
said.
being a have-not and to penalize you and to make you pay and suffer at every turn, and then to have the wealthy just shelter their income, not have to pay. We appreciate that you're providing jobs, but guess what? All those 2,000 people have to pay taxes. Why do you
Yeah.
not? You need to pay your taxes too. You got more, all they're doing, all those 2,000 people are making you rich, sure, richer. So
Yeah.
you need to pay your taxes too. It's just unfair. And so I don't really, I don't really care about the tax system. I just feel like they're on the backs of the poor and the middle class, and I'm not for it. So, you know, I don't have any
Either way
respect
you look
for it.
at it, it just seems like the rich keep getting richer and the poor keeps getting poorer. And I just believe that unless, at 12 o'clock tonight, they do something, I'm in that poor category. I'm in that paycheck to
Oh, girl,
paycheck.
you're not no poor. You're not getting any EBT and
Yes, I filled all of those out for my children. So my family definitely gets it. I literally was like, you all are getting as much as you can. I even told,
You know
what
what?
is
I
it?
told my
October
son
1st?
to do it. He said, okay. I said, I'm going to look it up. You think I had a moment to look it up? Absolutely not. But I mean, he was
He
like,
can do
yeah,
it right
Mom.
on his cell phone. That's what I did. Mine right on my cell phone. I mean, some things when they send you the paperwork, you have to fill it out and send it back. But I was like, no, my mother, everybody. I applied for everybody who I thought, my grandmother, everybody who I thought deserves some extra help from the government. We're gonna get it because October 1st, just to let you remind you that that's financial aid first day. So what I've been hearing, because my kids have been bull crapping all this time, filling it out on the 30th and filling it out on the 29th and 28th, the money is gone. They're like, if you get this sucker in on October 1st, you get a bigger chunk of financial aid. So I'm like gonna make sure their father talk to them in a way that he's never talked to them before. Like, get on the damn computer because even when you get your information in there, you still considered your information in there on time. So whatever they might need to put in after that or whatever, that's up, what they're gonna have to work on. But it's an every year thing. So
yes, it is every year. Well, Mia, unless she's going to graduate school, she doesn't need to do it because Mia and Jordan graduate this year.
Yeah, right. Mia or Victoria will never be graduating on their due date. None of my kids, not even my son. No.
Jordan's going to graduate this year, but Iman needs to do it.
I think Mia probably has another year and a half. Victoria might have another year, but trust me, they've changed their major.
Only a sophomore, so she should have 2 more years.
She should have 2 more years, but she's probably already know that she's got another year on that. She just recently, Mom, I changed my major. I'm not psychology anymore. I said, what are you now, Victoria? See, I really like this cooking thing I'm doing. So I think I'm just going to do management. I think I'm just going to get a business management.
That's a good general degree.
I said, so you just took a whole bunch of useless classes? Yeah. I said,
well, some of those psychologies will count for her humanities requirement. Yeah. Some of it's not if
some of them, it's useless. They literally said it when I calculated everything in. It was useless. You paid for nothing. I mean, it was the experience. Just cough it up to the experience. So.
Oh, well, at least they're in college, honey. I'm not complaining. As long as they.
Well, no, that's one thing I'm not complaining about. You're right.
As long as they're trying to get that degree, I'm going to support them, But thank you for reminding me because Jordan will be calling me talking about, yeah, I did my FAFSA. Iman will not. I have to say to her, come on now, it's time to do your FAFSA. you know.
I would call my son on October 1st every year and say, get on the computer right now. He was on it. Me and Victoria, literally, it was like November. And I was just like, what do you mean y'all haven't done it? I was like, I don't even care. I don't care. Talk to your father because I don't
Sometimes it
care.
does get to that point where like, oh, really? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't I got my degrees, baby. But you don't want to be like that. But it's like, don't try to keep stressing me out all the time because
Every
you don't
day,
want to do your requirements.
right. It's an everyday requirement to just wake up and do what you are supposed to do to be successful, not me reminding you of it. Like, just
They
get
get
over it.
better
So,
though. This is, I mean, just cutting them a little slack. This is the period where they learn. That's why I'm happy they're in college, because this is
yeah.
that transition period where you slowly learn to take over the stuff that runs your life. And I slowly back out of running your life. And
Right.
so, this is what that period's for.
I agree. I agree.
All right, so that time ran out, and we are now on to topic number 2, which is Biden announcing that, I think it's by November, that
Mhm.
nobody can enter or leave the United States unless they're fully vaccinated. Now,
Yeah.
how about that?
And you have to prove, which means the government has already said you've got to send in. I know people who have had to send in proof already, or you lose your job, flat out lose your job.
So you're saying that also you have to be vaxxed or you lose your job.
No, like it's already on the calendar. If you don't have it in, not your second shot, you have to be 2 weeks out of your second shot. 2 weeks done from your second
What's
shot.
the date? Do you know?
No, I didn't ask them the date, but I will get back to y'all on that. I will get back to you on that
And
date.
so you have,
Definitely on the calendar.
so that's really two things. You have to be fully vaxxed in order
Mhm.
to travel into or out of the country, and
With
in
proof.
order to keep your job. Now, with regard to traveling into and out of the country, some people are saying this is going to take us back to the time when no Africans were able to come into America.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, they're well behind
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
like, we have vaccines readily available. Some of those countries don't even have them available. And many of the ones that do, they're Black people. They don't want that stuff.
No.
They've
No.
been sterilized and had
Yep.
become impotent and
Yep.
crippled and all of that. So they're not eager to run taking anybody's vaccines when
So
they
that's
barely
what I
could
was
get
saying.
a visa anyway to come here.
We're scared straight with the vaccine thing. We're scared straight. And I don't blame us. I did it, and I did it for one reason only, because I believe in I believe in the government, even though it's failed me over and over and over. I just believe. I
Can't get
believe that
that
they're
belief.
always, I believe there's always some good in not controlled government, but a government for the people. I know we're supposed to be, I
Well,
know.
no, my position is I respect everybody's choice.
Mhm.
Because it's a personal thing and it's your choice whether you're going to get it. I respect it if you get it. I respect it if you don't. I
Mhm.
personally don't trust the government at all, not even when they're in my face. I don't trust the government.
At
But
all.
oh, heck no. When has the government ever tried to do anything to benefit us? Whenever? Ever. Just name one time when the
But see,
government tried to save Black people.
you've been an independent, right? I grew up in the government. Like my whole family, my
What do you
brothers,
mean
my
in
sister.
the government?
My dad was a Vietnam vet. So since he came home from Vietnam, I was born into the government. Like they owned him from the moment they shipped him off to Vietnam. They own my mom. We lived in a certain government housing. We had government food. We had a government, meaning like, we shopped at the PX, and we shopped, we bought our clothes from the government. Everything has been government, government, government. And so I married into the government, and my husband was military. We married into the government. So the government
The
has been in
husband
my
that you
life.
have now
Yeah. Yeah.
is military? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know
he's
that.
Navy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know anything other than,
The
the
government's
commissary, the
horrible.
PX, the
The
government,
government's
the
horrible. I'm
VA,
glad that the government
VA
helps you.
loans.
I'm glad they helped you, but they're horrible. Like there's Camp Lejeune where the water's all contaminated and all the
Mhm,
people on that base are being
mhm,
born with 6 fingers or only two and all kind of birth defects. And the government's
mhm.
the worst. I mean, I just don't trust the government, even though I was underprivileged and I personally was on food stamps
Mhm, mhm,
personally, not
mhm,
my whole family, but my grandmother who raised me got food
mhm.
stamps for me.
Ours did too. Oh my God, we got everything government. Everything from the government cheese to peanut butter to
But
everything
see,
that
this
they
is the
gave us.
thing. If your dad was in the military and was
Mhm,
risking his life for the country, the
mhm.
government should have paid him enough to raise his family. You shouldn't have needed
Well, see,
any
that
food
we
stamps and
did
all that.
have, but see, that's where I guess the catcher is. They do give you enough money to take care of your family, but then they give you first dibs on what's free that they're going to give everybody else.
Okay,
So
okay. So
that's, I
it's
mean,
extra.
it's not like an unknown thing that I'm saying. The government has a set aside thing that they're going to give their own, and then they go, what's left over? Well, we have to give it to these people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by we definitely. I know a lot about the government because of that. I know that they take care of their own in their own way.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
I do veterans appeals in my legal practice.
Right, right.
They don't take care of their own. They will
You're
shut you down after you served your country. Now you're disabled. Now you've got PTSD, Agent Orange, sleep
Mhm.
apnea, major depressive disorder. And what do?
All that trickles down to the kids
Deny
too.
your claim. They deny your claim. So you have to come to me. So
Oh
I have
yeah.
to make them give you the government. I'm sorry, they're the worst. I do not trust the government at all.
And I do believe that they are people in the government who make bad and horrible decisions for a lot of good people that deserve. Because my brothers, well, we talk about this all the time in therapy, but my brothers and we suffer from whatever gene trauma that my father had in Vietnam. We suffer from it.
What
Like
do you
that
mean?
is DNA. That
It
whatever
does travel down your DNA, but what do you mean by that?
everything that he had, not sleep, not being able to sleep, depression,
Oh, all those things I
anxiety,
just named.
all of them. We suffer from those. We suffer from loud noises. We can't be around crowds without having a substance in us. Mine is always wine or a mixed drink or something. My brother, he's like CBD, maybe even weed if he could. He's in law enforcement,
It's
so he can't
mostly
really.
decriminalized, so it's not that
Right.
big of a deal anymore.
And so yeah,
So like
so
I
he
don't even trust the government to give you weed. Now all of a sudden it's legal. I'm like, what are they putting in it? What is in it is not the same. I know it's not, it can't be the same now that the government's provide. I just don't trust the
Well, did you
government.
hear about what they saying about CMOS? They literally made like a
No, and
announcement
I
saying
take that all the time.
no, but the government is saying like
But I'm not getting it
don't
from the
rely.
government.
But it's more so like not really the government. I should blame it on pharmaceutical company because the government probably like screw y'all. We got enough problems. But the pharmaceutical company is basically like people, y'all, you need to do what we say and not take the CMOS. It's like people like shut up. You don't even know anything about CMOS that you can put your claim to fame on it. Like it doesn't do this. It does. Like shut up. We're not listening to you when it comes to
I
that.
just
Like
made some sea moss gel yesterday. I'll be taking
right.
some after we do this broadcast. I'm paying them no
Yeah, I
attention, but I
literally was
didn't.
like, yeah, it's a a medical thing they're saying now. Like people, please, if you're gonna do CMOS, make sure you still take your other things and it's like, stop, you don't know anything about this herbal life. Y'all don't, and if you do know about it, you're afraid to talk about it. So just
And if
stop.
you do know about it and you talk about it too much, they'll kill you.
Right. Oh, yeah,
Right?
definitely.
They'll kill you
Definitely.
if you really get too successful and you help too many
And your voice
people
gets louder. Yeah.
and you
And more
become
people
well
start listening.
known. And it's not just Dr. Sabi.
Oh
There
no.
is
It's
a
not even just black people.
long list. It's not even black people. It's women,
Yeah.
white men,
Yeah.
black men. They will black women, and when you start reading the stories, the people will be saying stuff like, I feel like somebody's following me. If this happens, do this, do that.
Mhm.
It's really
It
bad.
almost makes you think, like, I would love to talk to the deep, deep side of that because it's like, well, what are you afraid of? Like, why do y'all feel the need to stop herbal people from talking?
Money,
And like,
money. It's money.
And I get it, but do you not know that there's still people who've been hypnotized to believe? Like, there's literally this thing on, I know, oh, please, I hope I still got it. I think I do, but I'm going to send it to you. So the scientists put 6 monkeys in a cage, right? And they put a banana at the top of the cage, and they trained the they trained the monkeys to go up to the top of the ladder to get the bananas. When the monkey gets to the top, ice cold water comes gushing down on the monkeys, right? So every time there's a monkey that goes up there, the other monkeys beat him up, like to warn him, almost to say, don't go up there. They beat. So they put a monkey who has nothing to do with this into the cage, and they take one of the other monkeys out. So the new monkey, he doesn't know, he's going up there, he beats. He doesn't know why. He wasn't there for the water pouring. He doesn't know why, because they don't do that. They took away, the water and everything. So each day they take out an old monkey and put in a new monkey. So by the time it's left, it's 6 new monkeys in there, and they're still beating each other up. And they don't even know why. They don't even know why.
Explain the crabs in the barrel effect that we see among Black people. You just explained it. That literally
don't even know why.
Like crabs in a barrel pulling each other back down. We don't know why. You're looking from the outside saying, what is wrong with these people? Clearly something's wrong with them, but they're reacting from what they experienced. And, I've seen a study like that where even when a new generation of monkeys come that, like you're saying, have not even getting the beat down or anything, they just won't do it.
They just won't do it. They just won't do it. And it's not, like you said, they don't even know why they're not doing it. They don't even want to ask. They have never asked, they've never seen it. So that is my thing, is, so why is the government still trying to stop people from progressing with herbal, lifestyle, when we've already been programmed to run back to you? Okay, our headache didn't go away in a week. Forget this shit. I'm going to go get help from the doctor.
Because things change gradually. And so if they allow that culture to happen over time, people will move away from pharmaceuticals. When you learn that you can take grapefruit instead of your blood pressure medication, which is why they tell you, if you're on the medication, don't take the grapefruit, because then it's going to be too low. But they don't tell you, oh, don't take the medication, just eat your citrus. So it's about money. And then the pharmaceutical industry lobbies and fund, they bought the politicians. So now the government does the work of the pharmaceutical company. So it's a whole thing. But it's really, unfortunately, with the white people that are in control of this country, always follow the money. It always comes down to money for them. It's always about money.
So sad. That's so sad.
The vaccine is a bit about money. Look at how much money they're making. We're not paying, but the government's paying those pharmaceutical companies for those doses.
Why?
It's always about money.
What would be the point? Okay, so help me. What I want to know is, help me to understand. So create a virus, create a vaccine for the money, for what? Okay, I understand not you, but I understand people saying, but we needed a depopulation and it got out of control. Okay, I get all that. We needed a depopulation, we need all that. But my thing is this, and it was all about money? That was still all about money?
But see, unfortunately, it's some, if you don't have that mentality, like, I can't identify with it. I understand it from studying it, but we're never going to be able to identify with or connect with why they're that way, because they're not like us. So the Queen of England owns some large percentage, more than half of the land all across the world. She has vaults filled with gold bars, but it's not enough. She's still trying to get, and all the jewels stolen from Africa and India and everywhere, but it's not enough. She still wants more money. The Rothschilds are, I don't know that there's a word. They're more than billionaires or trillionaires. I don't know that we know a word for the magnitude of their wealth. They still want money. So do you ever want to look there? We don't compute. We don't understand it.
Would you ever want to look inside of that Pandora's box and see what that might be like, or look like, or feel like, to have.
To have that
And
much.
power is a great thing. I understand, they claim Gandhi was so poor, but he was powerful. And Mother Teresa was so poor, but she was so,
Oh
I get
God.
all of
Do
those.
you ever listen to the backstories on those people?
Oh,
That
yeah.
Gandhi
Well,
was
I don't even need
sleeping
to.
with young girls in the bed and
But I never
traumatizing
needed
them.
to. I never
That
needed to. I know the story on them, but long before I even heard anything, I'm a person that can look at you and tell that you of your nature. I've looked at Gandhi
backstory
in a
on
book.
Mother Teresa is
Yeah.
horrible. Now,
Oh,
I wasn't there. I can't say if it's true or it's not, but I say that a lot of people that were there seem to have some different stories about them. But are you asking me, do I want to ever look into what it's like to have that
no, if
magnitude
we
of
could,
wealth?
if we had a special power where we could go into that environment and actually see what it's like to feel like, to hear the conversations, to know like what it takes to be able to say, kill them all, take all their wealth, let's move on. Like, I
No.
want to know. I always wanted to, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's the curious part of me. I just always want to know, like, because I could never do it.
That's why
I
I'm
would never,
saying no. I'm not
yeah.
saying no because I don't want to know what it's like. I'm saying no because I don't think I could do it. And I also don't want to be tempted to a point where I become, that would be somebody totally different.
No, you could still be you,
I am.
but you just would want to see, because my thing is this, to know, Tori, you have to take out this whole country and it's going to kill women, babies, and men. I can't, I'm like, dude, there's no other way. No, there's no, oh, well, we're going to have to find it. Because
Yeah,
I
see,
can't
that's
live.
what I'm saying. It's not gonna, they're gonna kill me because I'm gonna be like, oh, hell no, we're not. What we're gonna do is something different.
Right,
It's-
right. So
So there's
why
no
is that
need of
not,
putting me in that position because I'm not going to experience it because I don't think that I have, and I don't want to be tempted to become a person who would bow down to that and do that.
but who told the people that are like that it's okay to do it, and not only is it okay, but it's the necessary evil? Like, that's my thing. So that's what makes me wonder about the whole spiritual world that we've been brought up to believe in. Because if we do believe in an extraterrestrial world where we're governed by this higher being, where are you when there's talking, when they just talking about what they got to do?
So that's
Like,
the
where are
demonic
you?
part. That's right back to the demonic, but we come back to that a lot. That's right back to the demonic entities that run the entertainment industry and that run the mainstream media and all of that. Because let's face it, a loving, light-filled person is not going to find a justification to kill an entire country of people because you want their land, because you want the poppy fields, because you want their gold, you want their diamonds. That's something different. That's a different entity.
Like, I hate snakes and bugs and stuff like that. I hate them. But if someone told me I had to drop a bomb on a pool of snakes, I
I
don't
wouldn't
even
do
know
it
if I
either.
could. I couldn't. I
And
feel like,
I understand that even though I don't like them,
right,
they're necessary. They're a part of
they're
what, they're
necessary.
part of the eco structure, the ecosystem, and all of that. So I wouldn't do it. And so my philosophy about bugs, now I don't know about no snakes, but about bugs and
Right,
spiders and stuff, as long as you stay outside my house, I'm
right,
gonna let you live.
right.
You make it in here, I got to take you out.
And that should be for anything.
But other
Totally.
than that, you're fine.
Oh, I totally agree with that. Yes. So my thing is this. That's why I don't understand how we get back to humanity. I don't know how to get back to that.
I
Like,
don't
if you
think
look,
those are human. It's gotta be dark. See, everything is light and dark. So there's no light without dark. There's no dark without light. You
that's
can't
true.
even see the light without the dark. I mean, it's all of that. And I think that those are dark forces that like dominant dark. Like we have dominant light and we have people balanced. And I think those are
So,
dominant dark forces. I don't consider those humans. I don't consider them human.
okay, so of course I left my phone on, so hopefully we'll get the answers to those soon. However, I want to know, why weren't we taught about dark forces then? Why have all our life pastors have always preached about heaven and good and the good and the will of the good, and they of course they dibbled on hell. You know about hell, but you don't know about hell.
Devils
So
and
my thing,
demons.
Mhm.
They talk about devils and demons in the church.
No, but not to the intellectual part of it. They just tell you, and you've learned, okay, if they kill yourself, you could be deemed to hell. Or if you steal, you could be deemed to hell. If you kill, that part of hell. But I'm talking about the part we just talked about. Like, there are the same way you feel like God can make a difference in the world and create great and good. Why didn't they tell us about there is an evil force out there that can create masses of evilness? Because how are we able to even deal with this right now? Like, I can't deal with what's going on in the world when I look at my phone and I look at social media. Just to be fair, there's another situation where a woman decides to leave her little baby girl home with the guy who killed her daughter. And she was 2. And I'm just like, this is so common to me now. When I hear it, I think I'm hearing the same story, but it's a different story. And it's like men are just becoming so barbaric. It's like they're killing women and children with no repercussions and yeah, there might be some repercussions, but in their brain, there's no remorse. Like, there's no remorse. There's no remorse.
Okay, a lot. There's a lot to answer that.
Mhm.
Number one, they don't teach us anything that's true. And most of the things that they teach us are false. And the reason that school is here to teach you to be a worker, to sit down, to do what you're told, to be in place, not to become an entrepreneur, to understand how the world works, to change the world. That's not the purpose of school, which Rockefeller started to make sure they trained workers. And then number two, I
Mhm.
think personally that the video games, the movies, the TV, the music, it is desensitizing people to evil. They're singing about it. They're firing down people on the games all day. I don't think, one time I saw a video not too long ago. I think we may have talked about it in Southeast, where there was some shooting, Southeast Washington, D.C. And it was in an apartment complex, and there were pathways with with fences, and the young men were running through. It looked like they thought they were in a video game. They were running through, shooting.
I hope you send this to me.
I'll have to look for it. It's been at least a year ago, I want to
Oh
say.
my gosh.
But I think that it's just desensitizing people, and the things that
We weren't playing a game. This was real.
oh no, they shot that joint up. They shot it up, but when you look at the video, to me, I don't play video games. My
Mhm.
kids they're not really into it. But when
Right.
you look at the footage of what happened, it looks like they thought they were playing video games. You remember that happened with the active shooter in the Navy Yard too. He
Oh
was
yeah.
looking
Oh
around
yeah.
corners, and
Oh yeah.
he looks like he thinks he's playing a video game.
Yep.
I think that those things desensitize us.
Yeah.
I do.
So
I mean, that
so
may
maybe
not be
over
the
the
whole
years,
answer.
that's why they didn't preach about the power of evil, is because over the years the world has gotten more elaborate on that.
No, because
It wasn't always
nobody's
like
trying to
that.
teach us. I mean, I just don't know. You just are so believing, and they're not trying to tell us truth. The Bible contains some truth, but it's not truth. In the early days of churches, you didn't even have to take a Bible to church. Nowadays they be like, turn to the book
Yeah.
of, but back then you didn't take no book to church. We just went on
Right.
to church, and
Because everybody couldn't read it anyway.
Mhm.
That's in the beginning, no one could read it anyway. It was
Right,
the
and he
preacher
just
was
stood up there talking about with whatever. It's nothing
Yeah.
here. I don't know that we know any truths. We're beginning to learn them now.
Okay.
And the truths that we're learning now are different in every area from what we've been taught. That's been my experience.
That's
Almost
the part that's
everything
hurting
I've
me.
been taught is wrong.
That's
Mhm.
the part that's hurting me. That's the part that's upsetting me and hurting me when I wake up every day to seek knowledge, and all I see is all of this drama and stress and killing and murder and rape. And I'm just thinking to myself, is there any peace? I mean, I have to really go to like a fairy tale Narnia type of land to get my peace, because I'm thinking, where is it? Is it really this bad in the world? Like, you don't
It's within
understand.
us. The peace is within us. I have a peaceful life. I don't watch a lot of media, but I have a peaceful life. I don't really That's not a part of my reality.
Mhm.
I may see it on social media. If you and I discuss it and I think I should look it up, I look it up.
Mhm.
But on a day-to-day basis, I don't think about those things.
I do, and I guess because I just want to change the world so bad, so fast. I just want to change it, and I just want people to. I just want to know why. I'm a why person anyway, but I just want to know why are men just becoming so evil? Like not just a certain group or nationality. To me, I feel like it's all of the men. Like, what is going on that you are
You
all
mean
becoming
males? Are you
male?
talking about male men, not humans, men?
No, male men,
Okay.
the actual, dudes with penises. They're just becoming so desensitized. There's like, even the way they're speaking on social media about women, it's
Oh my
like,
God.
what?
Oh my God. I don't know if I'll ever be connected again because that whole mentality is foreign to everything I believe and feel. I'm not a B, I'm not a HO,
No,
I'm not none of that. I don't behave as one. I don't want to be thought of as one or treated as one. And it's becoming like widespread. It's not even just the younger guys, it's the older guy. Miss me with all of that. All
it
of it.
is so bad. Like this one
Really
guy, I
is.
heard him literally talking about if a girl wants to be with me, if a woman wants to be with me, she needs to come with her. And I'm just thinking, what?
She
When
needs
did
to come with her what?
her A game? She needs to bring her A game. She needs to have this. She needs to have that. She needs to know how to cook, clean. She knows how to have her own bag. She needs to know how to have her own bag. She needs to know how to do. And this guy was sitting there talking. I'm like, dude, have you lost your mind? Did you not
What
know
does
it's
she
just a
need
privilege?
you for? What does she need him for when she's doing all that? He becomes irrelevant.
I was looking at this guy like, who taught you to talk like that? Like, no man in your life told you it was a privilege to have the female bosom, vagina, body, and soul next to you every day and night, loving
And that
you.
brain of ours and that
And
intuition
all of that
and
comes,
that
like all of
instinct,
that comes with that.
that
Like if
emotional
she's giving you
IQ.
all of that, that's what I'm trying to say. The IQ comes with, if she isn't already, you're not going to have an intellectual woman, period. She's not going to give that to you unless she's smart. She's
Remember
just
that
not.
joke? Remember that joke that Michelle and Barack went to a restaurant that was
That's my
owned by one of
favorite.
her former
Ex-boyfriends.
friends,
Yes.
and he said, see, if you would have married him, this is what your life would be. And she said, no, if I had married him, he would be president.
Exactly. And
Okay, so
that's exactly what I'm trying to say. So that's why I can't understand where this new man is coming from, where he feels as though he can talk to women. He can, and see, and I am very strict when it comes to my daughters. When it comes to my daughters and dating, I am like the strictest mother. That's when I snap and become like, no, no, no. You cannot mess with this person. If they even remotely, well, especially my oldest daughter, if she remotely starts giving me signs of something or saying something like, oh no, we don't do that. No, we can't do that. Like if I even find out you slacking on your manly duties, we can't do that. It's not a thing of, hey babe, I'm hungry. Can you stop past McDonald's and pick me up something? Sure, we can do that. However, that was a one and done. It's not going to ever be, that's the norm, And so my thing is this, I don't understand this new man who thinks that the woman is supposed to take care of him.
and
Like my grandmother,
they're disposable, they're easily replaceable, they're to be disrespected.
oh,
Hey, ho, you know how I go. I mean, what?
is it our fault? Is it female's fault? Has the female devalued herself so much that she has made this guy feel like he has choices? Because
I think it's both. But I mean, for me, I think that it's been a concerted campaign to program us to behave that way. And now it has worked. And now it has worked so much that the majority of our people think that way. And unfortunately, when they try to kill us, we talked about this, they kill themselves. So their youth are behaving in that manner to some extent too. A large portion of non-Black youth are behaving that way too. I don't know that it's gone up the ranks for them. I don't know that it hasn't. I just don't know. But I know that in our community, some of the things that I see some older men, there are some brothers though, on TikTok in particular, that are like, wake up, dudes.
Oh, I
What
see.
is wrong
Yeah.
with you guys? We got to do this. You know, so it's not everybody, but I think that, think about it, Tora. Think about the music and what it has been saying, what
Yeah.
they have been singing. Think
Yeah.
about the TV shows and what they
Yeah.
have been watching.
You talking about the gay black man? You talking about
Everything,
the fat black man?
everything.
You talking
They
about the black
call
man in
women bees
jail?
on
The black man
TV.
that's killing? Yeah.
Everything. They call them bees on TV. They got girls. What is that thing? Girls Club, Girls Fight Club, whatever.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah, yeah,
kinds
yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff
I've
that
seen
they
that.
have
Yeah.
programmed them with. It's a miracle. It would be a miracle for them not to be
Is
acting
it
like
because Big Mama died?
that. It's
Is
because
that?
the elite have consistently used all forms of media to condition people to behave a certain way. I can't
Mhm.
get beyond that because everything I see in the video game, everything, they're acting in accordance with the entertainment that they consumed for decades. It's all that's really available now. It's hard to find any like clean, like you going back to TNT, Turner Classics or whatever,
Oh,
you
that's
know?
all I can. That's all I can.
But our
Literally.
kids not gonna watch any black and white movies.
Well, see, that's all mine watch.
Okay, well
See, my
mine,
yeah,
mine don't.
yeah. My daughters and I definitely watch that, and they, I mean, they like some of the new movies out, the scary movies, but they don't, have
They
their
don't watch TV shows. They don't watch the
no,
TV
no,
shows.
no.
I think
They live it. You know how when people say, they don't do it because they live it, they in the entertainment business. So I
okay.
guess anything like that is just not a big, you know what I'm saying?
Well, my kids consume entertainment, and I know for a fact that my son, because I pay for these things that I don't watch, and I would be happy to cancel them, but my son watches Netflix, and my daughter
Oh yeah,
watches.
well they watch Netflix stories too.
Yeah, and it's all on there. And my
Mhm.
daughter watches stuff on Hulu, which she may be watching some of the old school stuff with
Mhm.
better morality because you get that on Hulu.
They love it. They even watched Poetic Justice just recently. So I was just like,
Yeah.
this is how bad y'all movies are that y'all watching Poetic Justice.
And they both listen to, like I was telling you before, my daughter they listen to rap, don't get it twisted, but
Mhm.
she listens to a lot of R&B that's better. And my son, I thought about it after we talked about that. He listens to old school hip hop, like A Tribe Called Quest and stuff like
Yep.
that. And he also listens to meditation music. So you will
So does
hear
my
coming out of
daughters.
his room like some other level music. So,
Mhm.
we're blessed that our kids aren't only
Yes.
consuming that, but there's so many kids that only consume this dark energy, and
Not lying.
you become what you eat, and that
Yeah.
includes what you eat through your eyes and your ears, and that
Yeah.
entertainment. I think that entertainment, I mean, I just think that's like the starting point of where we need to shut it down.
I believe so. I believe it's going to have to start with the entertainment, and we're going to have to start reading more. We're going to have to start getting ourselves back into the old school way of reading the books. Like I know I do audio reading too. I'm a guilty of
That's
that. But
fine too, though. That's still a book.
but what I really just feel like, and the reason why I say this, because I practice everything I pretty much preach when it comes to stuff like this. When I do put the social media down, when I do turn my phone off, when I do not get on the computer or my phone or the television, and I am reading, I realize I get some of my senses back. So
Mhm.
I do know that the social media and the mechanics that are going on are frying our brains. I do know that because it
I
takes
think
about 3 days.
I think we need to become like modern day. We talked about this. We need to
Mhm.
become like modern day Dolores Tuckers, going off, protesting, insisting
Mhm.
that we get a better quality of entertainment. Because like now, the big thing did I set the timer? Oh my God, we
No,
just
that's
talking.
why I just went on and switched the subjects because
Oh
I was
my
like, okay, the
God.
timer didn't go off, so I'm gonna
I
just
don't even
change.
know what time it is now. But they're now advertising the Black Mafia family, BMF, Big Meech, and all that. Like, enough already. Wait, how many times we gotta see this?
Did you see that it's gonna be a TV show?
I'm not, it's on Stars. I'm not
Yeah,
watching it.
I was so hurt because I was glad that my husband and my kids hadn't heard of it. And not when I was telling them this, it was the first time they were hearing. I was like, yeah, it was a big family. This dude had been in Baltimore. He got all these prison guard women pregnant. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah, he pretty much populated the Baltimore prison because he was in jail. And they was like, mine. I said, yeah, he was having conjugal visits with the prison guards and had like 6 or 7 of them women pregnant in prison. And I couldn't believe it when I heard it. And I thought to myself, what did this guy have behind bars who's never going to see the light of day, have behind bars over these women that made them want to give themselves? Like, that's what I meant by our women lowering our value.
But the
Go
story
ahead.
is bigger than that. The story is about them getting some kind of inheritance and taking it and turning it into a multi-million-dollar cocaine trafficking business where they were putting the coke in the panels of the cars and in the wheels of the tires and all. That's what BMF is about. It's just yet another story about drug pushing. Like, we don't know that story. Like, we haven't heard that story over and over again. They just feed you the same thing. They feed you the slave narrative. It's some certain things that they feed.
And when that doesn't work, they do the drug narrative. And then when that doesn't work, they do all the other narratives. You're right.
Over again. Okay, so now I'm tripping. Okay, so with the lose your job thing, one of the things that I really wanted to mention about that is that so many two things. Healthcare workers are refusing to take the vaccine, large numbers of them.
Yeah.
And so
and teachers,
now,
and teachers.
So one thing, I think we ought to be concerned that the frontline health personnel don't want to take it. That should be saying something to all of us. But in addition, now they want to bring in the National Guard to replace the healthcare workers. And to me, given that Joe Biden keeps doing mandate, it feels to me that that's just a pretense to have the military on hand to force people to do stuff they don't want to do.
If the National Guard gets called in, right, to protect healthcare teachers, because they also said they're going to call them in, could be for teachers too. I just saw it.
Okay.
So literally, because I kept thinking, well, are these people even educated enough to stand in for teachers? Because they're like 275 teachers somewhere that just walked off the job and was like, we're not doing this. We're not getting vaccinated. We don't want this. We were good. Whatever happens, happens. And that's how they feel. They're really adamant about not getting this vaccine. So my thing is this: if you bring the National Guard in to teach our kids, to help in our healthcare, okay, so what is that they used to tell us about this? What was this called? Not the New World Order, but it was called when the government takes over and
martial law, you mean?
Huh?
You mean like martial law?
There it is.
I think they're putting them, I mean, it doesn't, like,
how else would it be able to, what else do you need?
People you're going to get to replace the health, you're going to get the freaking military?
I'm just asking, what else is there if it's not martial law? Like, it's already a word invented. And if you take care of the healthcare system and you take care of the school system, what else do you need to dictate the world with? What else?
And the
food is already, you showed the video on your Raising the Vibe, food is already scarce.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
China is on a lockdown grid. Japan is on a lockdown grid.
Australia is on a lockdown. Australia is on a lockdown.
Australia is also on a lockdown grid. Like, they're actually trying to consume their electricity right now. So they're stopping a lot of goods. It's like I don't know if that's really what's going on, but they're using it as a lockdown. It's locked down. So if we export all of this, and now you see all these videos with grow this and, grow that. So
we're going to have to. We're not going to have a choice.
If all these people are quitting and all these people are refusing, I have a problem with that too, because now we're going to go into this trickle down thing and all of us are going to be punished, and mainly Black people. And then if you do it, then you have potential to be getting sick from something that we don't even know is really going on with this thing. So it's like, darn if you do, darn if you don't.
It concerns me that the healthcare workers don't want to take it. Those are the ones who have been on the front line. They've treated the people who've had COVID. They know what it's like. The fact that they're refusing makes me think that everybody should just take a pause.
Well,
and think about
they asked 82 women to come onto the show who did not take the vaccine. 2 only showed up. And the 2 that showed up said it was one, she said she probably end up will taking it. She said probably because it's becoming too unbearable for her to keep this fight up that she doesn't want to get it. But the other one was like, no, she's like you. She's like, no, this is the way I will be going out because I am not getting it. She said she's going to do everything she can because she said, Dr. Fauci said in the beginning, exercise, eat right, and all of that is going to help. And now all of a sudden that is, you don't even talk about that. You only talk about get the shot. She's like, I'm going to stay with what you told me to do at first, which is I'm going to eat right. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to do everything to help myself and my immune system to stay strong. And I do not want to not have my choice to not get this vaccine. So
if
she's
the vaccine worked like a vaccine and prevented COVID, there would be a stronger case for it in my
well,
view.
that's what she said too. She
But
said
the fact
because
that it's just BS, you just want to pump some stuff in my body. It's not going to stop me from getting it. It's not going to stop me from spreading it. Beat it. I don't need that in my life.
so you've heard about the Kelly Price thing where she's recovering from like collapsed lung from COVID, but I have not
She had
heard.
disappeared. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
and then she came out and she said she never had disappeared. It's just that the house she was staying in, her and her husband had to quarantine and no one was letting them. Like it was so many people trying to get into her house. It wasn't funny, so she said, okay, we're packing up and we're moving until we get better because she was literally like dying because she couldn't get strong enough. No,
Her lung
she
collapse.
got COVID.
So
She
from
got
now she was
but
unvaxxed.
she is not admitted to not having the shot so far.
So
So
we
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if she's vaxxed or not.
No one knows. And in every interview, they are not asking her that. I'm like, at least ask her, did she have the shot or is she getting it? Because at least we should know because she said she died. She said she flatlined. They lost her and they had to revive her and they put her on, I guess everything to bring her back. And when she did wake up and gain consciousness, she started feeling better and they sent her home, but she still never got better. Her lungs were still, wheezy and closed, and she's just trying to nurse herself and her husband back to health. But my point is, she's a prime example of she's here. If she didn't get the shot, she made it through, she's here, she's struggling, but they're saying people who get the shot can still suffer that same fate.
Same fate. Yes, all that whole you're not going to get it as you won't have it as tough. It's all BS. Okay, the last thing that we have was because I don't know what time we started, was morality ethics and helping others succeed where you previously failed.
Right. And see, that's the thing I wanted to bring up. And I know we touched on it a little bit in our last episode, but I was listening to Mark Cuban talk about how, he's been doing, more minority businesses on Shark Tank and just in life, I guess, he had an awakening or whatever. But my point is, for years, the secret has been kept a secret. And I often wondered, why was it a secret? Like what worked for you?
You mean The Secret or something else?
I mean, the secret on success, because what works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for me. And even if it does, it might work better for me than it did for you. Why is there such a big secret to keep somebody from making it in life? And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I have been on this journey of trying to get back into the entertainment business through my comedy, through, podcasting, through just putting myself out there more for auditions and getting myself trying to get back in shape and stuff. And I'm getting pushback and I'm getting serious, hateful putback, and people say, well, don't speak it into existence, don't say that, don't, from family and like close friends have been literally like trying to put hey, can you do this for me? Or hey, can you help me? Or can you tell me what this means? Or tell me what that, and it's just like, I know they know something, but they won't tell me. And it's just like, I look back and I'm like, I've never been that person. I have always been the person, whether I'm doing it or whether I'm not doing it, I'd like to see you win. Always. And in every aspect of life, I've been like, hey, I heard they're auditioning, or hey, I heard this photographer is really, really a good photographer, or, hey, you can get some really good clothes for your photo shoot here. Anything. I've always been that type of person. And so I know this person had an account where you can go on it and look for local auditions, because the movie industry is picking up a little bit and they're starting to do more movies locally now in DC, which they had stopped, as you know, because the House of Cards was here, and they usually do a few movies here, but they've got pretty much a lot of studios that look like they can be made in DC, but they can't ever get the landscaping. So there's still some of those type of movies that'll be made in here, like, you know, going across the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, and, you know, and they need extras or whatever. So there is a website for extras for that. And it's a secret. For years, it's been in Hollywood. It was a secret website, you know.
I might, be able to find that, because somebody I know was doing that.
See, and it used to just be backstage. Like, you could look on Backstage, or you could look on Central Castings. You could look on these websites and you could get it without paying a fee. But now they've got it. There's a new one. This person has an account because they're in Hollywood right now, and it's a girl, and I've always supported her, a woman, a lady. I've always supported her in her career. I've walked a million miles, you know, when she's needed to audition, you know, giving her great feedback, like, okay, listen, you know, how's this look when she needs to read her lines, everything you can think of. So I asked her a question, and she literally shut me down. I was like, I don't know anything about that. But then she went and did it, what I was asking her about. And I just got so hurt, because I've never done that to anybody. You know what I'm saying? I've never been that type of person. And I just was thinking of her, and I said, you know, I said, when I contacted her, I said, congratulations. I saw that you, you know, she's like, oh yeah, but it didn't have anything to do with you. Somebody else had told me about it too. I said, oh, I wish you had told me the day I was asking you. I said, oh, but it's okay. You know, I just wanted to let you know, I congratulate you on it. No hate. And she's like, no, I just don't want you thinking that. I said, why would I think that? Because I know how it is. I was like,
Why would
no,
she say that if it didn't? Why would she?
It was exactly that. It was exactly that. And the sad part about it was, it came back to me anyway. You know what I'm saying?
One of the information anyway.
I got the information anyway, and the person that I was trying to connect with, which was a writer, called me anyway, and was like, you know, I heard you said you had this, you know, script, or, you know, that you wanted me to listen to. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do the script thing anymore. I said I was going to hand my script over. I said, basically, I'll just tell you about it. So I was telling the person about it, and that also became another thing. So another person was like, oh yeah, I heard this from some. I was like, but that's my stuff. So it was like, I have these people around me, and I'm just like.
You mean that person pitched your idea as if it was theirs?
To another person, and then that other person pitched it to the writer.
Oh, wow.
And then the writer said to me, I said, no, that's mine. That's mine. I said, that's all mine. I said, I can even tell you the ending. And that's why no one knows about the middle and the ending, is because it's mine.
I think you can copyright it through, but you got to be a SAG member, I think.
Yeah, you can do SAG copyright through SAG, the Actors Guild.
But you can also do Library of Congress copyright.
Well, yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to start just putting on my phone, like literally on speed dial.
Because all my books and stuff, all my stuff like that, I copyright. A lot of my T-shirt designs, I copyright all of it.
What do you do? You do through the book company?
Through the Library of Congress.
You do everything through the Library of Congress?
Well, not through the U.S. Patent and Trade Office.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we might be done. I totally dropped the ball on the timing
it's
today.
Okay.
So
it's okay.
Is there anything else? Well, I did want to say, I'm sorry to hear that you're having that experience, but a lot of times it's not easy to do, but I'll try to remind myself to take those kinds of things as a compliment, because nobody tries to hold back anybody who doesn't have the potential to be great. So they may see greatness in you, and it frightens them because they think that you're going to elevate above where they are. And it's not the right thing to do, but a lot of people will try to hold you back. So you're going to get, like you said, you got it anyway. You're going to get what you need.
Yep.
But I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, that's what I want to say.
So
take it as they already know. They already know what I'm going to do. So I just need to go do it.
That is true. You almost got me in tears. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Any last words?
No, that was it for today. Feel like we did a lot of discussion, a lot of venting about what's going on in the world today, and I'm always eager to just get it out there. So,
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. As always, we appreciate it.
and please come back again so you can kick it with Kimm and Torra. Make sure you like, subscribe, and definitely pass this on.
Have a good night.
Good night.